Love is simply one word. It's unspoken. The foundation of life. What is this all about? There is no greater narcotic on this planet. You can line them all up and it won't come close to the dopamine hit that you get from love. Because love don't even have to touch you to make you feel some kind of way special. Welcome to the Art of Love with Dr.O. I'm yours truly, Dr.O. I'm going to be on a mission to love myself. And hopefully, there's somebody else out there in the process of me loving myself that can do the same thing for themselves. And we can share knowledge with each other. We can have steel sharpen steel. And you say to yourself, well, doctor, what is this Dr.O thing about? I see you sitting in the barber chair. Well, historically speaking, there was a time when barbers did more surgeries than doctors did and actually made more money. Surgeries on your knees, surgeries on your legs, bloodletting. They even took it upon themselves to get your mental right. And all of you know that there is no higher psychology than the barber chair, than your cosmetology chair, than your stylist chair, because we know things about our clients that probably no one else knows. And that's just the confidentiality relationship that we have with our clients. So when you see me walking around, I'm actually paying homage to the game. And that is, there was a time when barbers performed surgeries. And as far as the barber pole itself, you know, there was a time during war times and surgeries and different things needed to be done. They used a cloth. They had to bandage you up, and that cloth was white. And of course, there was blood. So you get the red and the white stripe. And where did the blue come from? Well, the blue, that came from the solution to actually clean the bandages. Also, some people feel patriotic about it. Some people may say the blue veins, the veins and all that. Hey, whatever makes you feel good, it's all in the game. It's all the same. It's all love about this game we call the barber game. And remember, tune in to the Art of Love with Dr. O because you're going to get a full taste of what it is to be in this chair. And I'm going to start it off with just loving yourself. I'm on a mission to love myself. I got over 100 pounds to lose. And hopefully, in the process of me just loving myself, I can inspire somebody out there to take a look in the mirror and say, you know what? I see you. I've neglected you. But from this day forward, I'm going to love you. Because remember, you can't love nobody else in your life, not even your kids. I know you think you loving your significant other or your wife, but if you ain't loving yourself, you ain't loving nobody else. And that should be a prerequisite that when you meet somebody, you should ask, are you loving yourself? Well, why would you ask me that? Well, because eventually those words might come out of your mouth. And if it do, I just want the reassurance that you actually know what it means. And how we find out what that means is the love that we actually give ourselves. So you guys tune in every week and you're going to get a nice full plate of just the art of love. Love Angels, you requested it more than once, so here it is back at you. We're going to talk about it again. Let's talk about it.
There's a lot of women that were raised by women that didn't know how to be mothers or
You're right.
couldn't be mothers.
or
Right.
women that didn't value themselves. Because I was
It-
listening to
that's
that.
a
Come on, talk about it. Because I'm gonna talk about it.
that's a big thing.
You could be pouring into your child because obviously you have to take care of this human being because they can't take care of themselves yet, right?
Right.
But does that necessarily mean that you know how to take care of yourself?
No.
And something
Hell
that I
no.
don't like about people reproducing, I would say, to keep it like scientific, is that people reproduce for selfish reasons.
Right.
A lot of people will be like, I want to reproduce because I want to see myself in somebody else and make that person a better version of myself, right? That's the most selfish thing you can ever
That's
do.
dumb as fuck.
That's so selfish because no matter what, this person is always going to be their own being.
Yes.
Now, unless you have something of substance or something of value that you feel like you could share, and even then, that's still being selfish. Because sometimes people will be vain and egotistical with it and be like, you know what, I have so much knowledge, I have so much, I'm well traveled, I have so much I can give to this child. When that child didn't even ask to be here. It's different from a relationship. Like if I'm like, oh, I have so much knowledge I can give to Legend, and Legend agrees, like, you know what,
you're a grown adult.
you do,
like,
and I
yes.
choose to listen to you, I choose to follow with you, and I choose to be with you. But a child does not have that choice. And sometimes people are growing within themselves, but they're still taking care of whole other human beings, and they don't even realize that.
Oh, it's
Mm-hmm.
it's that shit gets deep for sure. For sure.
Do
Having
you
kids,
think that it's a selfish act that, I personally believe that a woman is the single most powerful manifestation of life to ever come to exist on this planet.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't take two to make a baby. It takes your decision.
Mm-hmm.
It's you.
Mm-hmm.
Your mother knew she was going to have you before your daddy did.
Mm-hmm.
See? And I let people know all the time, I'm an alpha dominating male, but I fell in comparison to a woman that knows who she is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. When a woman knows who she is,
Mm-hmm.
it makes the world go round. See, we have to understand that I don't want to get on this subject, but the thing about it is, I've never seen life come from a rib. I've seen it come from you.
Yeah.
And I don't know if, to me, it just seems as if though the truth is right in our face. There's a queen underneath the ground telling ants what to do so that the trees can get the oxygen and seeds that they need to sprout up and grow and give this planet oxygen. There's another queen telling bees what to do so that the trees can get pollinated, be fruitful, multiply. Something's telling me that a queen's supposed to be walking on this earth to establish order. Do you know what happens when you take the queen out of an ant colony? It's lost. You know what happens when you take a queen out of a bee colony? It's lost. Society is lost because women have been lied to and they don't know who they are. But the day that women wake up and they get the respect that they're supposed to get is the day that order will be restored on this planet. And those of you that are listening, you don't know nothing greater than your mother, and you never will. So you don't have to doubt the words that I'm saying. You've lived it. There's two conversations. You see, that's what the pen is for. Write that down and hold it, and I'm gonna be done with it. So there's two conversations that I believe, and this is how you become a love angel. So you hear me say the word love angel, it's because this is how you become a love angel, and that is, there's two conversations that you must have in order to become a love angel. First and foremost, the first conversation is with the mirror. You got to apologize to yourself.
Ooh,
you've been lying to yourself.
I sure have.
You talk about other people abusing you. When was the last time you said I love you? Huh? You talk about other people talking about you. Look how you talk about yourself. You motivate the world, but when was the last time you gave it to yourself? So it starts in the mirror.
Yes.
Because he and she knows everything about you. Okay, if it's a man looking to me, he knows everything about you. If it's a woman, she knows everything about you. She knows your greatest accomplishment, your failures. She even remember the times in the shower crying. You don't want nobody to know. And guess what else she knows? She knows that one little secret that ain't nobody else gonna know but you and her. So why not love her?
Right.
See, and after you apologize to yourself, then there's another conversation you gotta have, and that's with your casket. And your casket gonna tell you, you got a foot up in here. Got a foot up in here. And tomorrow ain't promised. I need better stories than the stories you've given yourself. Me and your mirror, we're in a marriage with each other, and we've been talking. And them stories that you got, that's why that foot already in here. But before you put that other one, we need better stories. And as far as anybody else's opinion about how you doing what you do, we'll make room for them in this cast, but it's only gonna be you getting in it. So that's how far you should take other people's opinions. long as you spreading love and you ain't hurt nobody, do you?
When a woman knows who she is, I think that
It's powerful.
it's very powerful. And I'm just now starting to learn that about myself. And what I've started to realize is the more I set boundaries with people, the more people are upset about it. But it makes me feel better because I know now what I deserve. I know how I want to be treated. I know what I'm going to tolerate. I know what I'm not going to tolerate.
Yeah.
And I've never felt like this before.
Mm-hmm.
So feeling like this now, it's a whole different thing for me. And it's like,
beautiful. It's beautiful.
Because at 31, it took me so long. I'm 31 now. I'm
What's up, Ryan?
finally
You 25.
You're right. I've been
Yes,
25 for
yes.
6 years. You're right.
Always
You're right, I
remember
forgot.
when you say age, say years young.
Yes.
Yes.
31 years young.
There it is.
Yes.
Yes.
There
So
it is.
at 31, a bitch is just now learning, like, girl, you the shit.
Mm.
And it took me so long to get here. But back to the talking to yourself in the mirror, I literally have to, I don't do it every day, but I try to tell myself positive things like, girl, you look cute today.
Mm-hmm.
Or, girl, that was okay. Or I'm even more so with forgiving myself.
Yes.
Like, okay, for example, maybe my youngest daughter didn't get to school that day.
Yeah.
I will be so hard, like, damn, you're fucking up. You're fucking up. But I had to tell myself, it's okay. It's going to be tomorrow. It's going to be another day. Because for so long, it was like, when one thing failed, everything was like, fuck it.
Yeah.
You know? So now that I'm learning, like, to forgive myself and to speak positivity into myself, everything is starting to become more loving, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like everything around me, I'm starting to appreciate more. Everything around me, I'm able to give off the love that I want now.
Yeah.
And that's it's very powerful, like you said. And it's
You create a
beautiful.
magnet, and it's gonna come to you because you're clearing that table off. You're getting rid of that appetizer.
Yeah.
The main course is coming. You
And
know.
Scorpio's already magnetic.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
People are very drawn to us.
Yeah.
So now, it's crazy because I love you. I'm learning to love me, and that's bringing in the people that I want around me now. Before it was like I'm dealing with just anybody, everybody. Now it's like, no, you can't be around me moving like that. No, you can't be around me if you're gonna do this to me. It doesn't work like that. And it took me this long to finally be like, bitch, stop playing with yourself.
Welcome back to the Art of Love with Dr.O. All my love angels out there and everyone tuning in. If this is your first time, you've definitely reached the right place because the universe, our friend, has told you something that you've always wanted to know, and that is, am I really loving myself? Well, you found the right place. Last segment we were talking about the leaf, the Dr.O tree of life. If you really apply this tree to your life, it'll fully give you the understanding of what's going on in your life. Remember, just a quick touch up on it. We were talking about the fruit, and that is that which feeds us, what we eat off of after the seeds that we planted in the soil. And the leaf are the influences that we have in our life that's either building us up or breaking us down. Well, that leaf is held by a fig, and it can easily be broken. It can easily be broken. Just the smallest things of influence, someone in your ear. You can have the perfect relationship with your significant other, and here comes someone just putting themselves in your life just to break your fig. And you have to make sure that you understand the significance of influence. Someone telling you things. Is this person telling me things that's going to build me up, or is it telling me things that's going to break me down? And then the branch, what's really holding it out there? This is your family. And even some branches fall off. It's often said enough that blood don't make you family. It should, it should. We would like to believe that it does, but I've seen some situations where I've spoke with some of my clients and they've told me some things that go against someone being your brother or your sister or your mother, your father. And that's what's holding you together, that's what got you out there. That's your circle. What's inside your circle? Because the older you get, you're going to be able to count them on less than 5. And it's often said that show me who your friends are, and I'll show you who you are. Birds of a feather flock together. You know, not that it's right or wrong, but often enough, there's some truth to that. And so we come from the fruit that we're feeding off of. We come from the leaf that's being stimulated, from the sun. Who are the influences in our life that we look up to that stimulate us? Is it the stimulation? Are we receiving the stimulation that's going to elevate us, or is it stimulation that's going to be our demise? Social media could be a stimulation, and is that elevating you or is it bringing you down? See, the art of love with Dr.O, we're trying to elevate. We're trying to get people to understand there's no greater love than loving thyself. Can't love no one else until you do that. You can't be honest with no one. You can't tell the truth to no one if you can't tell the truth to yourself. You can't be a friend to someone if you can't be a friend to someone else. Can't trust nobody else if you can't trust yourself. Can't believe in nothing. People believe, not that it's wrong. I don't like to step on no toes, but people believe in things in people that they don't even know, you know. But if it's easy for you to believe in someone that you never know, that you probably would never meet, then surely you can believe in yourself. You can trust yourself. But that comes with an apology. Got to look in the mirror and say, I'm sorry. I apologize. I've been neglecting you. I've been putting everybody else's hopes and wants and needs before you. As a man does, a man provides. This is what society says that he should do, and this is what's inside of his soul. But we're second only to the greatest thing that ever came to exist on this planet, and that is a woman. Chauvinistic for a man to think that he's greater than a woman when she carries 9 months to exist on this planet. Your mom wiped your butt 5,000 times and tied your shoes over 1,000 times. She taught you how to walk, talk, eat, everything as a woman. This is the truth that I'm going to bring to you, is the understanding of who we are on this planet and how we need to get back to love. So from that leaf, the fig, the negative whispers in the ear, you have to say to yourself, man, is this guy really telling me this? She really telling me this to help me or to bring me down? And remember, I've spoke to you in a different segment, and I'll go back into it in another, and that is you do have 3 souls inside of you. You have 3 brains inside of you. Your gut, that energy that resides inside your mind, your pineal gland, scientists know that it's here in your gut. Your gut is 70% of your immune system, over 75% of your strength is here. Everything. There's a lot of stuff going on. And when it don't feel right, you get hit in your gut. When you're in love, it's all up in your chest. See? And this is the heaven and the hell, the yin and the yang. And this is the one that makes the decision between the two. See, you hear these voices in your head constantly, but no one ever told you about this. That's what Dr.O is doing right now. I'm telling you the things that people really don't want you to know. You can get a PhD degree in college and they still won't tell you this. And 90-something people on the planet don't even realize this, but I'm giving it to you. Buddhist monks know about chi. They understand the body. Beautiful people. Beautiful. So much to be learned from them. To the branch, your family. Like I said before, blood don't make you family. And a lot of you, when I said that, you might even looked at the your sibling in the room sideways. I don't know, but blood don't make you family. So hopefully, if you have someone in your family where their blood isn't making them family, have them tune in so they can love themselves and be a better person to love you. Now the stem. The stem. This is the body of the tree. This is the body of the tree. You can look at a tree and think that, is that an apple tree? Or is that a lemon tree? Huh? Is that a peach tree? Or is that a pear tree? See, we have different preconceived notions of what we would like our lives to be. But irregardless of the fantasies that we have in our head and the thoughts that we have that we would like our lives to be, looking at it, it's going to be with that hand through in the ground for it to be, and not no fantasy. There's nothing wrong with fantasizing to bring yourselves pleasure. You want to give yourself a little small dopamine hit from fantasizing, ain't nothing wrong with it. But when you think that it's going to be your reality, if you don't plant the seeds for it to be your reality, don't be surprised when it doesn't show up to be that what you thought it was going to be for you. Next week, next segment, we'll get into the trunk. The trunk. I don't want to give you guys too much because I've given you a lot to think about. The fruit, the leaf, the fig, the branch, the stem. Apply these things to anything in your life, and you'll realize one thing. All these things that I'm telling you, it comes back to you. The hand that throws it in the ground. Until next time, you make sure that loving you is a priority thing for you to do. Appreciate you and love you.
United One Protection Services. With over 30 years of experience, United One Protection Services has more expertise and knowledge than the other security companies combined. Residential, commercial, municipal, or institutional, United One Protection Services does more than just security. We protect your livelihood. United One Protection Services.
As promised, welcome back to The Art of Love with Dr.O, and I'm yours truly, Dr.O. But as promised, there's a lot of emails, a lot of questions, and I definitely want to answer as many questions as possible as time will allow me to do so. And let me see here. Okay. Wow. Huh. Interesting. This is coming from Keisha. Keisha, all the way from San Diego's tapping in today. Keisha from San Diego. How do I explain to my friend that I'm more interested in his father than him? There is nothing like being honest with yourself. Before you can be honest with anyone else, you definitely have to be honest with yourself. It makes it so much easier when you're honest with yourself. Now, Keisha, you can't have his son buying you things and taking you places and whining and dining you, and then you are in love with his father. Just be honest with yourself and find a way to ease away from his son. And find a way to ease towards his father. If he's single, only if he's single. But if he's married, don't entertain that thought because you might be robbing yourself of the blessing that you're supposed to have. Okay, we have another one. Okay. You know, I this 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 question is interesting, and it comes from Aaron from Apple Valley. He'd like to know, what is the connection between mind, body, and soul, and how do you properly maintain these things and keep your center focused on life? Well, this is my belief. I believe that three is the most powerful number in the universe, and you have three brains and three souls inside of you. I believe that you constantly hear a voice in your head, and they're constantly talking to each other. Well, where is this coming from? You know, you have one that's a little bit more aggressive than the other one, but that's a little bit more caring, forgive her, it's okay. The other voice is like, nah, she gonna do it again. Look what she's already done. Well, these voices is in your gut. The first one, the aggressive one, is in your gut. And it's a little bit more aggressive when things don't feel right. It's hitting you from your gut. And when you're consumed with love, it's all up in your chest, it's in your heart. And, you know, these are the two voices that you hear, the yin and the yang. Then it's the one on top of the shoulders that makes the decision between the two. Ultimately, it's just you loving you. And the more you listen to it, think about it. How often has your gut been wrong? How often is your gut wrong? The more you dial into it, the stronger it gets. You know, a gazelle drinking at the water hole senses danger. We have those same abilities, but we allow the internet, cell phones, and stuff to dumb us down. But as humans, we have those same abilities. So, Aaron from Apple Valley, I just gave you the three levels of soul that exist inside of you, and that's your gut, your heart, and your mind. And as long as you balance those, you'll be good. Everything will work out just right for you. Let me see here. I thought I paid that bill last week. Why they sending me that email? uh Steve from Hawaii would like to know, I work with an amazing lady. Art, what can I do to woo her? Steve from Hawaii, the greatest thing you can do to woo any woman that you will love to like you is just be you. Steve, just be you. You don't want a woman to fall in love with you not being yourself. That's too much work. But you just being you, wow. There's no work in that, Steve. Let me see here. Regina from Inglewood. I love my husband. He gives me everything I need and treats me like a queen. But his sex is horrible and I have needs. Is it okay to get satisfied somewhere else and stay with my husband? Now, Regina, do you have kids? Because the reason why I asked if you have kids, Regina, is because when you have kids, you said that was no longer important to you. It's all about my kids. See, if the sex was going to be more important than the kids, then you shouldn't have had kids. But if you have kids, then that's the sacrifice that you make. You said when you had kids that sex is not at the top of the list for me anymore. I want to raise a family. Now, if you don't have kids, Regina, and you guys have that understanding, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Can you handle it if he went somewhere else? Could you? Could you? Probably couldn't, Regina. You probably couldn't. I know a lot of us say we can, but don't allow, if you have something beautiful, don't allow the devil to come between what God has put together. But to answer your question, it all depends on you. Is it worth me risking everything that I have established with my significant other. And if you feel that it's worth risking that $10 million mansion, that Bugatti, the yachts, and the jet, and the private islands, Regina, if you feel that it's worth all that, then by all means, Regina, do you. But when you lose it and you're underneath that park bench shaking, just remember, it was a decision that you made, Regina. Now, of course, I reached, Regina, but I need to reach just so you can understand some things. Ask yourself, weigh it. Is it worth it? The only person that can answer that question is you. I might have time for one more before we have to go to a commercial. Let me see here. Okay, here we go. Here's Kevin. Kevin from Ohio. How do I break it easy to my girl without breaking her heart that I'm no longer interested in her? Kevin, how long have you been in a relationship with this lady? Was it a fling? Do you have kids invested in this relationship? These are the questions that you need to ask. And at the same time, always remember, she's somebody's daughter. Okay, she's somebody's sister. There are people that love her. Of course, you don't owe it to her to hold her hand and to nurture her, that this is just a part of life. But at the same time, sometimes you go through things in life to appreciate what you walked away from. So don't be too quick to walk away from it unless you know that this is something that you've done your homework on and you're sure that this is something that you really want to do. Let me see here. They're telling me I need to close this out, but I gotta take one more. This is from Regina. No, not Regina. This is from Stephanie. Stephanie from Temecula. If I'm living in hell, how do I get to heaven in my relationship? Well, Stephanie, if you're living in hell and you're trying to get to heaven, be it that the center of all relationships, in my mind, and this is just my opinion, because men, we're simple. I can't speak for a crackhead. I can't speak for a guy that's just ignorant. But your average guy, we're simple by nature. We're loving by nature. Often enough, we're just puppy wanting to play and love our master when we come in this world. It isn't until we get our first taste of gunpowder we become the dog that you no longer want to deal with. But if you feel that you're in hell, make sure you do your due diligence to make sure that it's not you creating the hell. And once you've done that, and that mirror is the most powerful thing, it's the way that you find to love yourself. Then by doing that, it will spark your creativity to create heaven here on earth with your significant other. Let me see here. Any more? I really appreciate all of you guys' emails coming in today for the Art of Love with Dr. O, and I am yours truly, Dr. O, the Love Doctor. Please feel free at any time to send these emails in, and I will get to them as soon as I possibly can. I really appreciate everyone out there. We have people calling in from all around the world because everybody got that heart beating in their chest, and they might just need a little love. So you're tuning in to the hottest place to find that, and that's the Art of Love with Dr. O. When we talk about love, love is everything. And one of the greatest things that you can do to nurture the soul of you is to admit to yourself when you're wrong. If you're having a conversation with your significant other and you don't want to admit that you're wrong, Well, at least when you have private time, look in the mirror and say it 3 times. I was wrong. I was wrong. I was wrong. And what that does is it helps you develop the ability to say, maybe it's me. Maybe I'm wrong. Allow me to give this person the benefit of the doubt to hear them out. See, that's all love. And make sure that you remember, until next time, you make sure that loving you is a priority thing for you to do.